Hey, what's going on, guys? It's Demetrious Johnson, and you're listening to MMALatestNews.com.
It's time to roll, baby.
Welcome back to MMA Latest. This is our UFC Norfolk preview, where Joseph Benavidez gets a title shot against Figueiredo. It is a vacant flyweight title after Henry Cejudo vacated the belt. What do we make of that?
What, Cejudo vacated the belt? I think it was the right decision to make. I don't see him going back down to flyweight.
Mr. Saving the division.
Mr. Saving the division, as he so
and
says.
Just bounces off.
But Cejudo, he's fighting Jose Aldo, and then after that, I want to see him fight Petr
Let's talk about that. That was breaking news yesterday, wasn't it?
Yeah, we've got Cejudo, Aldo.
What do you think?
And,
thoughts on that?
A lot of people are giving it stick. I disagree. I know Jose Aldo officially has lost to Marlon Moraes, but most people think that he won that fight. So therefore, he's coming off a win.
And Marlon Moraes just fought for the belt and got obliterated.
Division now by an
he looks bad though at the weight. He looks drained. Have you seen the pictures of him?
He didn't look too bad to be fair on fight night.
But before it, God, he looked drained like a skeleton, didn't he, Aldo?
This pay-per-view's going to Brazil. He's the biggest star in that division. It's the fight that's going to do the most pay-per-view.
Is it main event? Has it been confirmed?
Main event. Henry
when is it?
It's
May.
It's May. Can't give you a specific date.
May 9th.
I'll have some of that.
But yeah, I think that's definitely the fight to make. And Jose Aldo, let's face it, he's earned it with what he's done for this sport. So no issue with that whatsoever. I think at this stage, Cejudo probably out-grapples him and beats him on the floor because Aldo's lost 4 of his last 5. I mean, I know
something like that. Holloway twice.
I think Cejudo will do the same thing. Let's talk about this main event. I am absolutely buzzing that Benavidez might finally become a world champion because
he deserves it.
In the UFC that probably deserve a belt.
Yeah, he deserves it.
You know, the likes of Calby, who's around for years, and Yoel Romero, these fighters that should have a belt, Dustin Poirier. Benavidez is up there with the ones who deserve this the most, and I really hope he gets that this weekend.
Definitely, and he's fought, do you think, Demetrious Johnson twice?
He did, he got beat. He officially has a winner. I thought he lost that fight.
One against Cejudo, there was talk about a rematch happening, and he probably deserved it. It's a weird... It's in a weird state of division because obviously we had TJ Dillashaw go down and try and take Cejudo's belt, and he popped the EPO, so that put a tarnishing on that, and he did get obliterated inside a minute. And Cejudo came out as this sort of angel of the flyweight division, and then went straight for Marlon Moraes in a vacant title shot for the bantamweight belt, which was a bit dodgy. And it all stems back to Demetrious Johnson losing his belt and getting traded for Ben Askren. Demetrious Johnson came off the best of all this. He's either in one championship as a champion. He lost to Cejudo.
No, in one.
No, he's champion.
No,
he won the tournament.
I think that deal actually came around quite well for the UFC because with Ben Askren, they got to sell the Robbie Lawler fight that was massive. Ultimately, Ben Askren lost the whole game Masvidal.
We wouldn't have had that memory.
Created Diaz Masvidal.
Yeah.
So it's
worked out.
Yeah, but look at the knockout. We wouldn't have had that if Askren wasn't there.
That's what I'm saying.
But Demetrious Johnson.
For the UFC. Demetrious Johnson means nothing, unfortunately.
Oh no, that's
unfortunately
such a good fight, but it's just a debate to have. It's just we're going to have it in the MMA debate, but it's skill and power, etc. But when you see someone that good, but it's boring to watch. Every fight's a decision. You're thinking
it was every fight.
I mean, that Ray Borg armbolt was something special.
Yeah, unfortunately, Demetrious Johnson is a man who didn't sell anything during the build-up. It's why he was headlining fight night cards. He was never a draw. His lack of will to fight the best.
Do you think he beat Cejudo in that fight? How did you score that?
I thought Cejudo won the fight.
You thought Cejudo won?
But going back to Demetrious Johnson, I mean, he had several opportunities to go up and fight TJ Dillashaw to make this super fight, and he just wanted no part of it. He wanted to stay in the flight division, beating people who were way below his abilities. When he fought Cejudo for the second time, it was expected that Demetrious Johnson would win again. Yeah. So Demetrious Johnson let himself down, and now doesn't have the legacy.
You know what? I disagree with that fully. I don't see why we treat him like that when we treat John Jones differently when he's still at light heavyweight. And, he's fighting the likes of Dominic Reyes, who, they are skillful opponents, but you're expecting them to win.
Everybody wants John Jones to go up. That's the criticism he's getting.
Yeah, but he's not. So.
They are getting well, neither did DJ.
But but he didn't. But I'm saying the way that we look at Jones as one of the greatest, and then Demetrious Johnson gets palmed away when he's been champion most of the decade as well.
I'll be honest.
The division was extremely limited when DJ was beating people in it, whereas John Jones went through absolutely everybody.
He did.
And sells fights far more outside the octagon. Yeah. And that all helps add to your legacy. We were talking when we did the Wilder.
But his legacy's been tarnished.
Review. It has been, and we'll get on to that.
But the fact is, sorry, James.
We talked about Wilder Fury and why Fury is now considered one of the greats of all time. Because like Muhammad Ali, he sells fights, and if you don't do that, you lose something from your legacy.
But the fact is, you just got on about DJ, and and I've just zoned out. I'm just daydreaming, and that's what you get with him. I didn't even listen.
I think
to
he's
what
one of
he
the most
said.
underrated fighters that the UFC.
Yeah,
have
but
had.
the fact is boring. And
Nobody on the record,
he's
really.
boring. Like, I've just zoomed out that whole conversation for 5 minutes. I wasn't even listening. I didn't know what you were saying. And that's what DJ is. As much as how talented he is, it's boring. He's not. You don't remember it.
Guy plays our intro music. God damn it! Show him respect.
No, that's why though, Mitch, that he wasn't.
He's good at the
headlining
intro.
big
He's good at our intro music. I'll give him that. That
He's class, and he's a gamer
great,
as well.
I'm not saying he's not a good fighter. He is a phenomenal fighter. But he's boring to watch. Like, do you remember his events when he's fighting? Are you going to stay up for it? No.
Mitch, what fight have you ever been excited for involving
Come on,
Demetrious
tell
Johnson?
me.
The fight we wanted was TJ Dillashaw, and he didn't have the bottle to do it.
No, that would have been a fun fight to
Who
see.
did he fight when he went and stepped up? Was it Dominic Cruz?
He fought
Dominic Cruz. That was in his early days.
Yeah.
His very early
But
days.
he's had opportunities for big fights, and he's turned them down.
Yeah, but he doesn't have to move out of his division. He owned that division for
Well, even when
a
TJ
decade.
said, "I'll move down," he said no.
It was boring to
Well,
watch.
look at what happened now with the
TJ
EPO.
got beat, and he had all the opportunity in the world
Yeah,
to
but
get that win on the
at the
resume.
same-
Look what
himself, and
Henry
didn't.
did. He stepped up.
Didn't
Did
fancy it.
DJ come out and say anything about the steroid use?
No, DJ said TJ won't make weight, so therefore I'm not going for a training camp. What he actually said was, "I don't fancy fighting somebody of that ability." And he
Was
bottled
it? Was he meant to step up or was he meant to drop down?
Drop
TJ?
down.
Both were offered.
Yeah.
And he turned
Well,
it down.
I think it was originally one weight, weren't it? I think it was originally Demetrious Johnson was going to move up, and then that didn't work out. So TJ was like, "Yeah, I'll just
Look
move
what
down."
he did though. He could have got that victory potentially over Dillashaw and propelled himself to maybe.
Yeah, he would have got that bantamweight spot against Moraes, and then we're looking at champ
That's
Johnson.
very bizarre. I mean, it says it all to me that UFC cut him. I'll let him go, whatever you want to call it. And the fact Joe Rogan said it, that he's one of the greatest of all time.
Yeah,
So
he's
you don't
definitely
let
up
the
there.
greatest of all time. Yeah, but you don't let
go.
them leave, do you, James?
But I'm glad Ben Askren came in. Ben Askren in free fights gave us more entertainment than Demetrious Johnson did in his entire career.
Yeah, I love this is showbiz, and I love people that gravitize me, that captivate me. And Ben Askren captivated me with his talk, and I'm going to tune in. Am I going to tune in when
Get
DJ's
flashbacks with that
fighting?
stiff body.
Don't do that because I like Ben and I've said
It's
that.
just-
on
it's
stage.
just
It was
grim.
horrible,
But
that
that's-
but it's a memory.
It's a
regardless.
memory. We're in the sport. We want to watch these sports. They come along.
He's part of one of
every
the
so
greatest
often.
memories
Yes.
in MMA
When
on the
you
wrong
think of
side.
highlight reel knockouts, there's very few that you get where you go, fuck me, and you're jumping out your seat. There's very few times you get that. And with that, it was a moment, like I've said this before, McGregor and Aldo was one of those moments. And that Askren and Masvidal was like, it was literally
Just
out
gone.
my seat, just
gone.
literally, fuck me.
I looked like I just see Medusa. I was frozen in stone.
Do you know what I mean?
I was about as stiff as Ben Askren.
Because you get, it's like you're getting ready, you're buckled in to see a 5 round war. The next thing you're like, what's
5
going on?
seconds.
What the hell has that just happened?
Yeah. You got that clip of John Anik reading out the sponsor for Modelo, and it's just like, oh, it's done now.
Yeah,
Didn't even get through the
I wish
sponsor.
they wouldn't do the sponsors when they do it.
They have to, don't they?
I said
Even
this last week. I said this, I swear to you, 2 weeks ago. I said to you, I was watching a UFC event, and they had this beer. We had this guy
Modelo.
buying a beer in the concourses. You know, you would at football, and they were going, this beer was sponsored by whatever. The Fight Clock's sponsored by whatever. The bloody ring cards are sponsored by, and they are masters at capitalising on marketing, but it's too much. And you know what annoys me with the UFC? On the round, it doesn't say the round on the
No,
fight.
it says the sponsor.
It's really annoying because sometimes, in the boxing, you don't know if it's round 4, round 5, you want to look at it. You just see the clock, and sometimes you don't know what fucking round it is.
Yeah, they always have that little
Hate it.
white markers
Why
that
can't
count it
white
down.
mark at the bottom of the
UFC,
screen?
put round 1, 2, 3, 4 on the thing. It's not hard because it doesn't confuse you sometimes. Is it round 3? Is it round 4? If you're on your phone as well, you're not taking that much notice of it. But everything's marketed to the point where the Harley Davidson prep point is
Well, there's a reason why they're number one.
correct. The masters. But I used to hate the fight nights because there's so many commercials, like literally commercial after every fight, and then it just the marketing is. Just
Yeah.
Sorry,
Go on.
Benavidez, tough matchup this weekend. What is his opponent going to look to expose?
Well, Figueiredo's got some good knockout power. It's hard to really see where this fight's going to go. You've got Benavidez, he's 35 years of age. You've got 32. There's not really much difference between them. There isn't that much.
There isn't much. So if we're talking predictions, because we always do these on the preview show, which way are we all going? I'm going to kick it off. We'll have this little graphic below. Last week I picked Fury. I got that one. I'm going to go for a second one in a row. I'm going to go for Benavidez.
Yeah, I think Mr. Nice Man has got to go. He's such a great guy, and Benavidez deserves to be a champion.
Yeah.
I think it'll be a decision, though.
You think he wins on decision? Johnny, which way are you going?
To be honest with you, I'm not really that bothered.
Not bothered
I'll
at
just
all.
be quite frank with you. I'm not going to watch it. I'm not that bothered to watch it. To be quite frank, you very
Just
much.
while we're on flyweights, just want to do this right at the end of the video. There's a massive card coming up this weekend in Texas within the boxing world. My favorite, after Tyson Fury, this man is my favorite fighter, Roman Chocolatito Gonzalez, the man from Nicaragua. Went to 46-0, was so close to breaking that Mayweather world record. He's gone up so many weight classes, which is incredible when you're that small. He lost to Srishakut wrong side, unfortunately. But he's got an all-action style. He's incredibly entertaining, and I know Kalyafai's British, and I know I should be patriotic, but I love Roman Gonzalez, and I really hope he can get a win this weekend.
Right, Mitch, break it down for me.
I'm not involved in this one. I'm sticking straight to UFC Norfolk.
I'm not bothered about the UFC. You're not bothered about the boxing this week.
Yeah.
So you watch the UFC, and I watch.
Yeah, we'll come back to it.
Come back with recap next week.
I believe Chocolito's on the way out. He's one of them people where he's a victim of his size. He's that good, but he was too small to fight the higher people. Yeah. So every time he steps up, he's just, like we said before, the big, great, big... I always get mixed up with this term here. The big gun man will always be the...
Yeah. A good big man will always be a good man.
Yeah.
But Roman Chocolatito Gonzalez, 5 foot. And
amazing.
I mean, he's a flyweight, but he's moved up to super fly, and he's just far too small.
Too small.
I'm hoping that his incredible level of skill and talent's enough to see him through.
You want him to beat your fight?
I like your fight.
What are you doing for British, man?
Tyson Fury is my favourite fighter. Then it's Roman Gonzalez. I don't know why.
Do you have Nick Kawaki in blood?
I've claimed a few times that there was a night back in 1980 when me and Roman's mother, made love, and then it produced Roman, and I see him as my son. So I love Roman Gonzalez. Allegedly, of course. But no, I love Roman Gonzalez. I think he's absolutely fantastic. And I can't believe I care so much about a 5-foot Nicaraguan that doesn't speak a word of English. But I just love him. I think he's class.
I love him, but I love the fight. I've always been a big fan of your fight. For me, he was always going to be a world champion. Highly skilled. I think he beats him very comfortably. Looks good doing it.
That's
Potentially
hurtful,
could
Johnny.
stop him.
You could be right. But... I'm going to stick with Roman for the same reason I'm going with Fury. I can't back against him.
Is the Garcia
Vargas is on that card? That's the main event. I think that's a very
Mikey Garcia,
fight.
Jesse Vargas.
Yeah, it's a good fight. Mikey Garcia is absolutely brilliant. He's a genius. And I think after the Errol Spence fight, we forgot about that. The issue is...
Is that welterweight?
It's at welterweight. Mikey Garcia is a lightweight.
That's it,
Even at light welterweight, he won a world title, but he was too small there.
Not big enough.
I think... Jesse Vargas is a very good fighter, but I've always seen him as a slight bit below the likes of Spence.
Ryan Garcia looks great.
Yeah, but at 5...
Ryan Garlek.
No, this is Mikey Garcia we're talking about.
Mikey.
But
Mitch, this is...
There's so many Garcias in boxing, it's ridiculous. But at 5-1, with that size advantage, I think Jesse Vargas is a decent bet.
I think it's a good fight. The money... In boxing, the money's a welterweight division. Like the UFC, it's always been sexy. De La Hoya, Mosley, it's always had those names, Hatton, Mayweather. It's the sexy division. And for you to get that money, to get paid, and to be in the big fights, you have to fight there. That's why Broner, another one, victim of his size, never ever big enough to fight a welterweight. Never. He's been exposed every time. It's like men against boys. But a lightweight's a killer. Garcia, again, he shouldn't really be fighting these guys. But for me, the fight I want to see... is Loma Garcia at lightweight.
I've been desperate for that for years, but Garcia just has this infatuation with welterweight. It's a shame. Because
the money.
Yeah, because Mikey Garcia can offer Lomachenko problems. They're two absolute geniuses.
Could you imagine? But again, it's another thing. Loma's a victim of his size because he's not big enough.
I don't want him to go up too much more. He needs to stay.
He's my favourite fighter of all time.
He needs to stay at lightweight now. I don't want to see him go, because I don't want to see him get beat because he's too small.
He's just that good. I'd love to see him fight Pacquiao. That's sexy. I'd love to see him fight Pacquiao.
Yeah, Pacquiao's a very small welterweight. Pacquiao's not really a welterweight.
No, he's not.
But so that's a good fight. I think we're somewhat forgetting just how good Mikey Garcia is, because he is brilliant. But Jesse Vargas has a huge size advantage. So
Mitch's prediction?
I'm out of that one. I can't.
At 5-1, I think Vargas is decent value. I've got to be
honest.
In fact, a Vargas Chocolatito double.
Is that what you think?
Well, it's not necessarily what I think, but I think they're both capable. I think it's like 10-1, that double.
So this is my prediction that I never ever get wrong. Not that I've gone on about my predictions.
Yeah.
Garcia to win on points, and Yafai to comfortably win on points, maybe late stoppage.
Yeah, two small other fights that we're just going to briefly talk about. Julio Martinez, WBC champion, battered Charlie Edwards to win the world title. Obviously, it was stripped from him that night because a blow came while he was on the floor. But let's face it, he went straight through Charlie Edwards. Very, very good fighter. won the vacant belt against Rosales next time out, stopped him. He's now taking on Jay Harris, who's a very good fighter. Of course, comes to the United Kingdom. We'll be supporting Jay, but I think Martinez has to go in the favourite.
Martinez, world class.
And then lastly, Joseph Parker. He's back in action against Sean Dell Williams. I feel extremely sorry for him.
Is this all on the same card?
It's all at the same card. It's a good Texas card.
Should we go?
If you want to get flights out, Mitch, get them booked.
I'm not going. I'll stay at home for that one.
UFC as well. But Joseph Parker, an excellent fighter, bit by his spider, which was unfortunate because I felt like that Derek Chisora fight would have been great for him. He's somebody who hasn't achieved his potential. I've always said, and hear me out, because this could kick off a bit of a fuss. I've always felt after Tyson Fury, he's the most talented heavyweight in the division. He has incredible hand speed. He's a good mover. He puts his combinations together brilliantly, but he's just not got he hasn't quite had it mentally to force his way through fights. He wasn't helped at all by the referee in the Anthony Joshua fight, but again, he didn't put it on him. And in Dillian White fight, if he'd have started a couple rounds earlier, he'd have had all the chance in the world in that fight. So I'm hoping he gets a win this weekend and potentially goes on to bigger things because he's a matchup for anyone.
Well, you got Parker. If he gets a good win this weekend, you could essentially get a Wilder fight or something like that.
He deserves big fights.
He'll have a big fight. Parker, again, it's going back to like the names and the record. When he stepped up, he struggled. When he stepped up against Andy Ruiz, that was life and death. He really should have lost that fight.
Do you think he lost? I thought he nicked the Ruiz fight.
But it was close.
It was close.
AJ, he stumbled under pressure, just didn't turn up. Who else has he fought since then?
He's had big fights. He fought Takam.
Yeah,
He put in a good performance that night. He beat Hughie Fury. He's got some names on the resume.
Yeah, Hughie Fury lost that fight. For me, Hughie Fury beat him. For me, so? I believe Hughie Fury schooled him. He just didn't drop the right hand. He just was pepping him with the jab, creating angles. Wasn't forceful enough and committed to his shots, Hughie Fury. But he lost that fight.
It was a very controversial fight.
It was in Manchester. It was on YouTube.
I was in the arena that night. I thought Parker had done enough.
Did you? I didn't, but no, I disagree with you.
It really split people because the people who put Parker
it's pressure against the boxer against the fighter.
There wasn't any people who go, it was really close. People either adamantly thought Parker would or adamantly thought Hughie would. It was what you liked on the night. Parker put the pressure on, landed some decent shots, nothing massive. Hughie Fury was on the back foot. Didn't land the mammoth punches.
He's tough as well. He has that Kiwi.
He does.
That Samoa, New Zealand. I love that.
He hasn't had the dog in him to go for it when he's needed to. But when he's been under pressure against Carlos Takam, he was gassed from the fourth round onwards, and he kept trying. That left hook that Dillian White put him down with, Lucas Brown and Derek Chisora didn't get up. Parker did.
Yeah,
he's got it somewhere. He just needs to find it.
They're all tough from New Zealand. It's in their bones. It's like the Irish and the Mexicans. They have that. They're just tough human beings.
And a worry for him is that as good a job as Kevin Barry has done with him, I don't want him to get stale with Kevin Barry. I think potentially could do to move on.
For me, I just think he's not an elite heavyweight. I think every time he stepped up, he's been exposed. Good fighter, world-class fighter, not an elite fighter for me.
We're going to find out anyway. Well, not this weekend, but hopefully he gets a big win and there's a big fight for him down the line. I know Murat Gassiyev's a rumour for him. That'd be a good fight. But anyway, Mitch, I think that's all for the preview for this week.
I think we just had a quick rundown of the main card for Benavidez this weekend. We've got Felicia Spencer. Potentially we could find out if Amanda Nunes has a featherweight title to defend because, she's yet to make her defence.
Sorry, because we've not mentioned it all. Jojo Calderwood's got a world title.
Yeah.
Yes,
loving that.
You know what?
The first Scot to fight for a world title.
Go on, Calderwood.
I'm happy for her, but Valentina Shevchenko is such a killer. So
I think tough,
she's probably the most
tough.
She's probably the most third champion at the moment. She's probably the most third champion at the moment, other than maybe Khabib.
But she'll stand in trade, Calderwood. She'll give it a go. She'll go out on the shield, and that's all you want. British blood, strong.
It's a shame it's happening in Australia and not
when is it?
Closer. It's 2001. June.
It would have been nice to get that in Glasgow.
Yeah, in Glasgow or that Dublin card. We've seen Liz Carmouche defend or take the belt to Uruguay with Shevchenko.
It would have been nice.
No, it would have been Shevchenko headlining.
Yeah,
because she's in like a Glasgow or something like that.
Yeah.
But either way, I'm just glad that she's got an opportunity.
Megan Anderson's also on the card, so a good win for one of those two.
Who's Megan Anderson fighting?
Norma Dumont Viana.
Who, sorry?
She's making a UFC debut, I believe.
Who's she fighting?
We'll just call her Norma for now.
But no, I think Megan Anderson's a good fighter.
Megan, did she fight Cyborg? She fought Holly Holm, hasn't she?
She has. And I know that Amanda Nunes would be a massive favourite, but she's running out of opponents.
You got two former Invicta champions on there, so they've of good quality, and It'd be
It
nice.
is a high
And
quality card.
there's no one at bantamweight for her at the moment other than Aspen Ladd, but she probably needs one more win. So it'd be nice to see her maybe defend a featherweight title, or she vacates it and you get one of these two fight each other.
Absolutely. I mean, there's an Australian card coming up. I mean, you could do 3 title fights on that card because Volkanovski, yes, he's going to do big business in Australia.
I think that'd be difficult with it being International Fight Week, the card after.
Have we ever
They're
seen?
not big names, are they?
Have we?
No, but
Nunes has never sold huge pay-per-views.
I think she'll be on that International Fight Week with Masvidal, isn't it?
Probably.
Has there ever been a card where there's been 3 title fights? I think UFC 100.
UFC 205.
205,
There's one from
245.
UFC 100 have 3. It was St. Pierre and Alves. I think
It's normally the big
It was
cards.
Mir and Lesnar, and then Bisping Henderson.
That
was
wasn't
the
for a
other fight.
belt,
It wasn't for a
Bisping.
belt, but that was the other fight.
that knockout.
Then UFC 205, we have, McGregor Alvarez, we had
Woodley,
Thompson,
Thompson,
then
and
Joanna
Johnny
Jacek,
Jacek.
Carolina Coquero.
Yeah.
And then
Was that 3 title?
Yeah, 3
just
title fights.
recently we had
Covington.
Usman,
Holloway.
Volkanovski, Nunes, Durandama.
Yeah.
I love it when you get a card like that. But for me, I want to just talk about this quickly. When was the last? When would you say, really, apart from take McGregor out, the last UFC card where you sat down and it was like a UFC 100, UFC 205, you salted the popcorn, you've got the beer out.
245 was pretty exciting.
And who was on 205 again?
245 was Usman, Covington. That was a
Who else?
Volkanovski, Holloway,
Yeah, but
Nunes,
you said that,
Durandame.
but no, I'm saying apart from like 3 main. When was the
239.
last card you really-
239, Jones, Santos. It was meant to be Nunes Holm on that card.
Yeah, but
It
there
wasn't.
wasn't.
And then we had Masvidal, Askren. Do we have something
I
else
love
in there as well?
That was the card.
I love it when
Luke
you stack
Rockhold,
it.
Jan Blachowicz.
And there used to be a big thing when I'm a bit older than you gentlemen, and it used to be a massive thing. Now UFC at like New Year's Eve, it still is, but it's not
Yeah,
as much.
they don't do a New Year's Eve card now.
New Year's Eve or Christmas,
Yeah.
after Christmas. It used to be the big one. Now it's more catered to like Fight Week.
Yeah,
that's
Fight
big
Week's
card.
the incredible one.
But the UFC at Christmas, it used to be the best events. Literally, the whole main card would be stacked. I remember one had like Rampage and Vanderlei Silva, I think Rashad and Forrest on it. There was someone out, and it used to be Saturday. It used to be really, used to look forward to it. It used to be sexy. I'd like to see that come back. I'd like to see an event that from top to bottom, they usually only do it if maybe UFC 300.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Do you agree? I'd like
Yeah.
to see something.
We're only we're quite away from that.
It's lost its place as the sexiest Christmas sport. Darts has got that mantle now.
Yeah, I think that's a good place to end it. We've got some good fights this weekend. You guys have covered the boxing pretty well. We've got Benavidez and Figueiredo. We will have a new flyweight title and hopefully a flyweight division to look back at next week. And I think that's where we leave it. So make sure to hit that subscribe button, drop this video a like, follow on all our social medias, Twitter, Instagram, Facebook and all that. And we will see you on the next video.